Flow. I have a question to ask the IGP. Who happens to ask for that thing that Okujeto said is true? He's my son. Why is it that political scientists can give a forecast and nobody will tell them to stop? Some will give a forecast and say that during this election, this one will lose or win. Nobody talks about it. And that is what they have studied. Unfortunately for me, I dropped out of school. And this is my profession. So why won't you allow me? Or you still don't believe me as a prophet? Watch this. The people that they say are my party members, NPP people, if they don't take care, they will lose almost 7 to 10 seats. But then, if NDC also don't take care, MPP will take over between 19 to 24 seats from them. But then, the election is on the 7th. On the 8th, the result will not come. Everybody shall be jittery. The result will come on the 9th. Some people will try to cause mayhem so that people shall die. And interestingly, they will call people on the street. And the first day, only 1,000 people will show up. The second day, no one will show up. And there shall be peace. And the result is obvious. The things are difficult. I know that there are 2 people coming. But the Lord has told me that by the 9th of December, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia shall be crowned the President of Ghana. This is not, you know what? This thing has taken me a very long time to say, because I wanted to be certain that this is not my emotion. And for those of you who are my children, you can go through the archives. Not one single prophecy of mine has fallen down void. Let me say this. In the next 7 years, this nation is going to experience an acceleration of advancement that it has never experienced in the past 50 or 60 years. Young men, young women, don't run away from this country. God is gonna visit us one more time. I'm not prophesying because I like anybody or I hate anybody. Let me be frank and tell you, Mahmoud Bawumia is my friend. He has never given me $1 before. If anything, I have rather lost a lot of things for just being a friend. And it's not because, hey, I'm not doing politics here. Don't fool around there. I'm serious. I'm serious. This is about the destiny of this nation. And this is what I've seen. And if anybody will take it personally, it is their problem. At the end of the day, the prophets will be numbered, and then the false prophets will be known. Watch this, giving a distinct political prophecy doesn't make me a politician. I am too big to become a politician. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Mr. O.
Paga in the Upper East region and Wechiao in the Upper West region. The housing scheme, which is to use only local materials in the specific project areas, is being funded by the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority (SADA) and the UNDP. Napoleon Atokuto reports.
A linear scale posted on the first model house at Mazari points at the priority needs of the people in the northern parts of the country. Water is first, healthcare comes second, and housing is in third place. The assignment undertaken by the Vice President at Mazari clearly points to the fact that the state is poised to provide decent housing for the people. The thatched round houses built of clay is in predominance in the northern parts of Ghana. Sometimes, these traditional houses attract tourists. However, there are now plans to provide houses which will stand the floods and other natural disasters. Most of the houses caved in during natural disasters. The freshest attempt at improving conditions in this part of the country is through the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority, SADA. And concerning this housing scheme, SADA's financial component is 2.8 million Ghana cedis, while UNDP is providing $500,000. Local building materials were employed in building the model house at Mazari, just as the traditional homes. Only technology makes the difference. The universities of Louisville and West Indies are the research base of the project.
The mission and vision of the project is long overdue, and I think everybody recognizes that. Like the concept of the SADA project and linking it to the University of Development Studies, that gives us an opportunity from other universities to participate and contribute.
Changing the face of the deprived northern parts of Ghana will take some time. The youth stands to benefit most if the program is implemented to the letter.
We are very grateful to have this type of project, and we are very grateful because now we can now use the local materials to put up a certain building like this type of nature for our own personal use.
We thank God that this thing has been constructed here, and we are hoping that more will be done here than this.
What about the message about peace in the area?
The peace. We are happy that there is peace.
The Vice President, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, however, cautioned that the project cannot succeed without peace.
20 years down the line, when we have seen the aggregate of the accelerated development in the Savannah area to bridge the gap, between the Savannah ecological zone of Ghana and the other parts of Ghana, we can look back and say that it all began here in Mazari.
Earlier on, the Vice President and other officials called on the regent of Dagban, Abdullah Yakubu Andani, in his Bewa Palace at Yendi. They discussed peace and security in the area, with the traditional authorities pledging their support for SADA. Napoleon Atokuto.
YouTube, Facebook, and the main page on Facebook and Koto page. Yacho bibia senya de bia mo ba mo yero no oba minim se bi mo refi. E wo so mo like video no, e wo so mo share, wo so mo comment, but as usual, ya no just obe catch ye de ye ni ansa na. Ya adwen aba ye ho so nipa bebre ni so enye we na ye mo dadwen. Nti etimo ase refi, but me kai like, share, comment ni entwa so. Yakoda sorry ya yaseba o nya sofo. You see now no omo deep on you o manum nyina no, they are running for rescue. Paul Adomoche number 1, number uno. A lot of people have committed series of financial atrocities, so criminal dealings, so like in time past, Nekufadu said the money under the carpet is sweet. That is why Mahama doesn't want to leave office. Now it is their turn. The tables have turned, And so we want to see if they will tell us the money is sweet or not. And so if it is not sweet, then leave the money and let us have our monies in peace. Enti yakoda sorry ya Kusi Reverend Kusi boateng aka Kwabena Edu Jamfi say Onyankopon ayi atre no na Baomia ba be president. See, when the gods want to, first of all, when they want to take you out of this very life, they first of all cause you to be mad. Omudi kai bo damansana ombeku omoku. Membertna has so many times say, I don't care political party will support you. But say ofa kweti kwan so fa omanye japade na se yeka na enunti obeka se Onyankopon ahye wo nkom ana wo hye nkom anya nsuade hu ze sa Onyame no beboa wo ama de wo boa wa ma abokro no atena wo so that mo betimi akoso abokro no na mo protect krono na mo cover krono a. I am telling you an authority say se nyame bi o honom a Kusi boa no sa Kusi boateng ogini dia na se nyame no esa hye ne nkom se Baomia be wini asa nyame no aboda with no shred of equivocation. Yem fan wadre se nyame bi wa asase so a ohwe ema ye de mobro wafo esika esi asori diamond koda no koda wo Ghana me se na me hwe video bi on internet ne so na me bra ho enkoda bi ye our day as they do it in Ghana. Omo ya our day no one akra no hwe nanimu a on un se lucky nutrient waye hoya. Two atade ehye no enye. Three aduane na wodi ko school so de ye our day me so rebe ho. Yenyina growing up no ya fa de ya mu pen but that kind of life no say our day na wo kono eye gare ne de nkwan egu so ene say gu margarine and say butter contain. And this is the pressing issue. We need the woho. We na we yunkuru anasino. We na majority of the people no. Omutimo. The life awuhuno Kumasi, Sunyain, Takrade, Accra no. That is not the life of the ordinary Ghanaian. The average Ghanaian now you see Ghana population census be a say your population no elbow unkuranasi. And I'm telling you, so why you Juma Ghana on Ghana and I'm telling you, and can obi betna akonyasuna or your politician or for one city crown and wasn't your bony chukuno. And that is why I always say sometimes no crampono omo idea omo cough tesi range kobo muchu kunyeno. Like we did a great disservice to your papa Ignatius Kutu Champon. We did a great disservice. Yes, say judges be a bomuchu, and my judges new wuye. Mi busa say, dear judge, asaribotri, or buy or the year at to forcing no, a bine see ya the kobo judges me and sanituno. A simple question, no, harmless question. And me busa say, dear a see ya your kobo board judges too, your book former heads of state. Yabubo mu tuo ku wom awia gedegede maybe ensu tobo wom abro maguru no bibusa say sa judge ye okotena ato forcing asem esu yi no sa de omo yiye ni de judges ahodo a ene omo te omo yiye a omo de innocent people ekoje de anim yebo a de a friend say Godfrey yebo adame edi a man for innocent people ekoje hwede odi ye a friend say man here Azugu say I intentionally added Azugu to the case. Bibusa o Se sankrofo we tiase na, then we did a great disservice to ya papa no e bobo omutuo eku wo no, because the AC no air time na ahomete e ferry egu oman no enka nko hu fin na e mate say GBA Ghana Bar Association say Godfred that may comment we don't care, and I really and solidly support what Edu Tomaklo Eka say the AG can go to Noboko, can go to Antwerp, can go to wherever he wants to go to. But the matter still stands. The fact remains. And sir, in classic for Amemo say the hierarchy of the execution or the process of dealing with laws now started with circuit one out to Supreme Court no overrule bibia untumi and Supreme Court now because there should be an end to litigation. And what's a mrasembia ye dibiano and what's it ye de na wi ye ba one for wi ya ma be ye nkwase amra into Supreme Court no Ghana court panyi pa no kese pa na daso Supreme Court no onu eka asema eno ano no overturning the ruling from a an appeals court or a high court, any court be a senase biano the onu beka. And this is the strategy from urban yinano NDC ana obidi ababi bi court na ye bua abane for Supreme Court a high court normally court you know differ na omo lobby almost self through to the top na ya overturn bibia na tena ko say esro for no ateni ade ne dia ne form of mu ni hweka tale and yet kwase amam nti Kusi boateng ntimi san sori ebe se nkom de kire ye. Yes, yet your my phone yet your Jimmy for my moon. Enyansafo e mu wo hin no yet wo Emma Godfred Yeboah adane Yahoo lawyer Saka one lawyer sucking people's blood like a vampire. Aqua a friend say Wycliffe at the ball, you know, Diallo sucking out human blood or Chini Pamoja would you be Koshifiasi. Yet one year concord story will be pursued to a kufado a free akunyaso near Dakwa Kujina court. Ye be ya after ye be say na omukra fork no omukra knife. Then we have people who come and sit on national television say hwe wonim bonia obi betimi di fork edi ene emi kura obi betimi di edi boni. It is not about fork obi betimi di edi boni ana emi a obi ntumi fa ni boni. It is about, do you have a concrete base? Owo nyina so nti a odi tu sa na mo no yete ho a company offered to pay 2.4 million euros. Yanjin fan solve aduane problems. Yatena ho. And if indeed say yampa say jakpa any atu forcing afa kwa bi so afa man zika Godfred dame onkwase asemu di nti woma fa sika na di free. If indeed say I am pa sa na wo kan sa na tie dia wa mama fa sika na di because you could not prove anything e wo court. And that obi busa fantastic question say what time a wutu kwan a wo ka kire wo deputy say onko court enko di dwuma mfama no wo tro letter de ba wo deputy no wo tro letter de ma wo deputy say wo deputy na represent wo letter wo tro ye say wo deputy no onfa represent wo court na wen meni obi na ye adwuma mema instructing nipa no memi wo ho mo mfra mi megusama no yoko me call yoko mako catch omo revelation ma papa na tena TV so aka say onu na instruct ato forcing was it that young friend said take penema because ne yeti ho obi Kusi boateng after a whopping sum of money or the baby companies illegality obi wo Ghana ho e hold two identities at any generative promo and you here. But to me who said obi did a private in commercial pursue to president free akunyaso. E ku for the president papa ben oye. Ah one call suku nyina wie you didn't know a Akufo-Addo from nowhere. Nim free bia. Politics mu na mu nyina mo kotena akra na mu hia na he Ghana no I tell you I am praying say one day you better sorry no. Na nka omani nyina na ne na nka abo enipa foforo. Because I had any two omani mu a omo ti akra ho ye nyina we nim enti we enye bone a we koka we Ewurade Yesu. Hi. Ha when o yan kwasiafo ho adwuma on utikura be pae wo Allah wallahi. Se nkofo na wo ye ho adwuma no omo agimi a o ka sepe omo se ba o ka se de omo se ba o ka se fo o se te. Ha nkofo na agimi di ni ho de. So yan kwasiafo ho adwuma wa ko school wa be si obi okwan so. Untimi fo wa bi mo bra. Now at the end of the day, no, Akufo-Addo feel one say, onye president bi o a Ghana no be sesa na say Ghana no be akoswa Ghana and na say Akufo-Addo feel so a mo amoti no you will cease to be called Ghanaians or you will not see yourself to be I don't know. Charlie anamu hold like dual citizenship bia mo yen hu ntia mo like mo di omani boni as if there's no tomorrow. To comfort say Kusi boateng kromfo obi o kromfo no e na atade a nanim nko na chiri nko o two faces nanim okọ ha no osa wanim foforo a ehwe na chi wo ye kromfo ye fro kwabna edu jamfi no ne maame nko Victor Kusi boateng so ne maame nko kwabna edu jamfi no okura ne passport enko with a different passport number. Victor Kusi boateng ekura a different passport. Yet o man anim ama wanya the infantry abetena ho say amanfo ebeka politics ho asem na omo the people of academia or the people in academia or in the scientific way. Yeah, we live in a scientific world. Governance is a scientific business. Governance is not superstition. Governance is not mysteries. Governance is not divinity. Governance is scientific. Science. In the Engrano school, government to school. No? Government, a science. A science, a social science. Nibusawo theology ni sa nyoma na musua na science and a divinity. A divinity. Yemfa science friends a divinity and governance. So e dey na wo osofo wa wia wo man no abegina ho shebo say ena nyankopon yi akiro. Me we ye sofo be catch him say nyame yi akiro say Mahama be president a wo abodam. Wo be catch him say ba omia be president a wa adwen ye. Because unyame no ncha correct. Inti say no nkofo nyina edwane. Dia ye no nkofo no omu nyina edwane, omu dwane kokodi. Omu betimi a protect omu. Why is it that omu yehu omu say omu align omu self with nkofo ma bokro no ayem kwasiade nyina na pese baonyamra power because se baonya koso etna power ene ebe koso akata bone so what you say oh video am boy yeah adwuma na mahama oye no osirimu ho o si Saglemi ma enkranfo no na o si affordable housing e de ma slimfo no a pilot program na wo hyase a odi yi hiasem e de fi ho hwe se me yi nyoma no a mahama te so oyeye ye mahama ye ya afi mame mahama ye ya afi ayi friends shrimps friends monko monko ewele monko nyina no mahama kofa amanfo bai say ye metri ni Ghana for mofra video mame hwe say metimi the video no ato so the amanko for ya because o kan see ya obi gina nten a obeka say akwa ewudi akohwisem so o kan say ya ombeka say o akohwisem na wudi no enti wuyi kire na nani so ayede ate no wan na afi omohu say eye no krasem na o kan ye no na afi na ba beda no nyum no krasem wa me kan ye nti where is it yes I think say any o kan say ya omo nyini kan say ya omo nyini da bibini yes mommy some few yene infanto sunchemo
Good news for one of our commodities. I'm talking about gold. President Mahama has opened a
gold assembly crown to ho. We need gold crossing. Good assembly to ho. Sorry.
The coordinates, the address where we should site this cathedral. Did we have to?
Did God tell us? You should be asking if He told the president, not us.
Yeah, I mean, told the president. Yeah, where we have to demolish the Mali ambassador's residence, demolish judges' bungalows, demolish scholarship secretariat, demolish the passport office, demolish the judicial training institute, demolish private companies, COMSIS, Waterstone Realty, an upmarket, very fresh luxury apartment buildings, all of that demolished. And our conservative estimate is that it will cost us $100 million just to compensate and relocate.
President Mr. John Dramani Mahama has commissioned a model housing project at Malzeri near Yendi in the northern region. He also cut the sod for more units of the project to be built at Malzeri. He announced that it will be replicated at Paga in the Upper East region and Wechiao in the Upper West region. The housing scheme, which is to use only local materials in the specific project areas, is being funded by the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority, SADA, and the UNDP. Napoleon Atukuto reports.
A linear scale posted on the first model house at Mazeri points at the priority needs of the people in the northern parts of the country. Water is first, healthcare comes second, and housing is in third place. The assignment undertaken by the Vice President at Mazeri clearly points to the fact that the state is poised to provide decent housing for the people. The thatched round houses built of clay is in predominance in the northern parts of Ghana. Sometimes, these traditional houses attract tourists. However, there are now plans to provide houses which will stand the floods and other natural disasters. Most of the houses caved in during natural disasters. The freshest attempt at improving conditions in this part of the country is through the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority, SADA. And concerning this housing scheme, SADA's financial component is 2.8 million Ghana cedis, while UNDP is providing $500,000. Local building materials were employed in building the model house at Mazeri, just as the traditional homes. Only technology makes the difference. The universities of Louisville and West Indies are the research base of the project.
The mission and vision of the project is long overdue, and I think everybody recognizes that. Like the concept of the SADA project and linking it to the University of Development Studies, that gives us an opportunity from other universities to participate and contribute.
Changing the face of the deprived northern parts of Ghana will take some time. The youth stands to benefit most if the program is implemented to the letter.
We are very grateful to have this type of project, and we are very grateful because now we can now use the local materials to put up certain building like this type of nature for our own personal use.
We thank God that this thing has been constructed here, and we are hoping that more will be done here than this.
What about the message about peace in the area?
The peace. We are happy that there is peace.
The Vice President, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, however, cautioned that the project cannot succeed without peace.
20 years down the line, when we have seen the aggregate of the accelerated development in the Savannah area to bridge the gap, between the Savannah ecological zone of Ghana and the other parts of Ghana, we can look back and say that it all began here in Mazeri.
Earlier on, the Vice President and other officials called on the Regent of Dagban, Abdullah Yakubu Andani, in his Bewa Palace at Yendi. They discussed peace and security in the area, with the traditional authorities pledging their support for SADA. Napoleon Atukuto.
Well, President John Mahama has inspected the first phase of 5,000 housing units at Dodowa in the Greater Accra region.
Government has also begun the construction of a 2,000-acre industrial-free zone enclave, which would have textile and electronics industry as part of the project to make Saglemi an economically viable city.
The president was in Saglemi, Dodowa, as part of his Accounting to the People tour of the Greater Accra region. The 5,000 Saglemi housing unit has been one of the key projects by government in their quest to cut down the housing deficit of the country. Ghana's housing deficit is in the excess of 1.7 million. This government is seeking to reduce. Currently, the first phase of the project is completed with over 700 housing units ready. President Mahama, after inspecting the project, announced the construction of additional 2,000-acre industrial enclave to make Saglemi economically viable.
I've just inspected one of the units, a beautiful two-bedroom unit. And it is nice for a small couple who have just started life. I've had discussions with the contractors, and what they're trying to do is to bring the price as low as possible and make it affordable so that as many people as possible can afford. Just down the street, we are starting a new industrial free zones enclave, and we're hoping that textile companies, electronic companies, heavy industrial companies will all locate there so that they create jobs for the people in this area.
Earlier, the president was at Ada to inspect the construction of new town roads from Kise to Adafo. The construction of the road is expected to bring some comfort to the people in the area since it had been in a deplorable condition for some time. The president later made a stopover at Anyamam where he interacted with the chiefs, fishermen and market women.
We're sealing the road with asphalt concrete so that it will give it a longer lifespan and make it able to carry the kind of traffic that is coming here. If you remember 2013.
Yeah, yes, Monkoso. A new way na mahama ede na oye. Or yes, Saglemi, the plan was to add industrial enclave. Mebo sa video na oche nkra no se na esi monko ni ade. I have the video, but I miss up. Mebo the achemo maybe tomorrow. Yes, a new man na oye to improve the life of the people. Mibusao baomia e de be nyoma omokofa napco enya de ye sustainable. Enya de ye sustainable. But all si diamond simufuo no, all si bi edeman cranfo no, na obie nyuma aquaculture enya nyoma poultry revitalization program ni nyina na esisi mo. And no ni nyoma ehia because omaya yen solve aduane issues nwie no. Yen konkoye credit score. Aduane ni bidi also your credit score. My main phone number into us na wa person offer no. Maybe some few minutes na you free. Aduane a yedi. Aduane a yedi we nyan solve sa problem no. O se credit score. Insu ayenom and me no can say kokuma se patasi 2 weeks ni insu mfa o tap system ni mo. 2 weeks ni patasi Kumasi and some part of Kumasi insuo omunya insuo no. Mami fa course na nkofo di o machi a wadi. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good.
Mini amane so.
Memo waju.
Yeah.
The American is clear. The evidence now they are clear. Maybe and this will be an arguing and no because they are the whole camp. Because as in the Obeba television for the Kabia or evidence. I say see na adeneti to enyadia o yere utu futu agugana kwe the team no I to say ni pani bi o no so maje ntama wo na wo ye wo kasa wo bre na kwa kasa sasuman no asa akaye ko no wo ka no kure chire nipa na nipa na ma wo bre sa nte esa na ni tempia na wo Philippine na wo de ye wo Philippine because nipa was say agbe ni hu ya agbe issue yage nango pa de yage ne ma say empanya adwuma o si issue yage ne empanya bibi ti jo mama policies anu oye na no oye for future enye digitize come dem o say digital me dey na credit from to from na come dem o say digital come dem o say play me do na fertilizer no the man.
Hello. In your Chawadi.
I'm in chair bright as a marble for Wabiana, you are quite severe. Nkoto, as any na wakan, just a woman. O my eye teams is here, Unia Salmon like as I say you were quiet.
Yeah, Michel.
O my eye teams is here. Nipo Bima or Mose or Monia Frewa never be home. Sa project yo mampani nko project ne. Ayade e wo ho masunwa kura no. Omu youth organizer ba ko be kan say omatom machines no. Na basa Ghana for bestro.
Economically viable city.
And na ya babu furu no mo kan wase na ti say Ghana for ni ati. Esi 2016 Mahama the co-opposition. We see ne akufaro na ba o mi ade co-opposition. Na odo mo ntonkozu no omunye no mbeye. Na ni na bebo wiye mrepom. Ya men kan ba bi o.
Me ga say one person of friend no betimi a kire wa adwen. Da so wa. Yen solve aduane problem. Ekom di nipa was a credit score. Ghana ni no nim credit score bi. Omo ti abuche nkwa busa so omo nim omo ti bibi e friend credit score ase. Akode ko school. Atade a o se akọ etan. Aduane a odi oni bi. Ensu a ya num ye nyanya bi num ye. Edan ya nipa bedem teacher ni tra de 20 years e wo senior high school or that single room was a credit score. Huh? Hello.
Good evening, boy.
Yeah, Joe Suminia.
For me personally, what I want to say is when Mahama comes to power, for me, the first year or two, I don't want any development. He should just jail the jailbirds. Honestly speaking, I read excerpts of the Japadia book, and I'm sad. As a Ghanaian, as a young Ghanaian, I'm sad, very sad. He should just jail them. Jail the jailbirds. We don't want any development now. The reason is an example needs to be set for people to understand that you can't plunder a country as beautiful and as welcoming as Ghana was. A country that was on the path of getting a GDP of almost more than 8% now has plundered into negative zeros. We can't sit down and watch that.
Yeah.
He needs to just jail them. I'm sad.
Yeah,
I'm very sad.
Hello.
And aquaculture is leading fresh efforts to increase fish production through the effective development of the aquaculture sector. We need to reduce and eventually eliminate our importation of fish and fish products. We can achieve this by improving the environment for the establishment of fish farming enterprises and also by making fish production to become a truly viable and attractive area for investment and for private capital. In response to my directives, the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development is promoting what is described as the nucleus outgrower fish farming scheme from the universities and agricultural colleges with backgrounds in fisheries or agriculture action will be vigorously promoted. Quality assurance standards that are required from certification bodies so that a niche technical expertise Vietnam
Yeah, Joe, so many akasa.
So when we are Kusi Monon Pacific Kumasi.
Kasa, Mano so.
I'm going to Madasini at my pa, which you were on my Ghana. I'm going to almost a worker say Kumasi present a way issue anywhere. Kumasi Hamono, over Momo one, I want to make on. I want to make. Hello?
In the network near. Oh, hello. Sorry.
Yeah, good evening.
Mini akasa.
Good evening.
Yeah, Joe, good evening.
Before second year, Abu no kase.
Yeah, Abu.
I want to say change nine but I would 2016 I don't have this in them media. Communication and corporate most of media houses away if people hijack.
Minia, hold on. Sa same way on. I say a nipan but mamenka baby. Sa same way. TV stations certify GTV5 nani nyineba TV so ni ade. Ba yanka say ya adwen say ye nipa bonefo. Emi emfa nkose because Ghana nsebi. Ghana no enye NDC4 ana MPP4 nkwa na ye omo dia o. Eni se woti wo man ni mu na se enyoma ekoso a entna wo se NPP ni meka ana NDC ni meka enti wo fa ne kwa abrochire a odi ni kodu tem na afre a wo hu se yesi tem na atre no eno no sami jamfin san metna hu TV so nka ncho se yesi tem na atre yesi wo
we know how the media houses project in what can once one come back for qualification project acquisition because maybe a publicator air course no project because what come also no project in a way you can once side agenda in account. So one thing you don't talk the development of Mahama NDC and data identity you know because all the media house in courses no to 1 year. Into your man no agenda and a part almost certain one agenda up. Into most of media house radio TV, even newspaper headline. Into Mahama project like I said, but into our this as a party agent now for air. But that's the main issue. I hope this is the time we have to rise up now.
Yeah, that's it.
Ghanaians, young careful, 2024, young top of John parliamentary because it's very important.
Yeah, that's it.
Corruption.
Yeah, that's it. Minya, and America no, sa asem no, eye abanfo na abenti ne ye ka sa asem we. Abrochi a ye tete no, ye nya kwan nwie mo bi metena TV so me kan chew say, or ye Democrat ni, Republican ni, Liberal ni, Conservative ni, Labour ni, inti ya ye rude. That be na dem enti na to abama. Your responsibility. So say who say Ghana for mo per communication ni say ye be ye adwuma ne dia say NDC for ba na omu jai ka kwan ne nyoma ne to ho na omu nye hwe na omu di sika mi ma omu boys say oh enko to jiska na ka che say enyoma we koso eno na ekufu ado mu be ye ya afi omu kofa delivery tracker ba ya ye track ya na akura NDC for office ye track ya na akura NDC for office afi na kodo opon kroma na begina TV so say yes over 80 of their projects omu post to ye no ni nyina ye project the previous administration no esase and I say if we think we like say amanfo be di akuhwesem akyere ye dia ene o man ye nya na nka Mahmoud Bawumia na nkofo nkoso antena so wako kejetia midnam kejetia ho ne ye nyina no ye adwen say Mahama eye wadi bi asoreko ye ni akonya saawo se kufu aduba yi na obeye adwuma so esen de Mahama ye ya na ma betena ha se chinchinchina Mahama mra na Mahama eba no oba beye dey because your person obeye no Saglemi no akufu adu ye we ye akufu adu ye boys ni adwuma ye intime kofo wa mo asa abasa na me do aba beye dey omo anya adwuma no in time na so we don't need any NDC ni bi say o meka bibi anche wo adwuma wo ya ye no ye laugh for the country tin ya betena ha ye enye because of so obi ama yesika na say ye gisika bi free obi ho so wonam kron na se nyoma ekoso it is your responsibility it is my responsibility to make sure say nipa ye to abama no or ye die nti ye to abama no what you say na se the party communicators baba betena internet ni so na omo aba betwa nto a kire ye dia ene Sami Jamfi mu ba benya power na omo so omo to Malik mo agum because at the end day no ye nkofo ne pen say ye nya adwuma no kura na say omo kwa abontin kokase ya eno na ehu hia sise no ye rescue Ghana wo into utena ho say Sami Jamfi meka asemi mfa nkyere wansana wasori akoto aba ekom no a ede wo fi no Sami Jamfi onte yo ensuo no a enflow or taps ni mu wo Kumase no emfa Sami Jamfi hu ono nko ntimi nyeni nyina John Mahama ontimi nyeni nyina Professor Jina na omo ntimi nyeni nyina wo enunti se wo se wo fi se sa part we ne ba edi mpuntu bra o community a it has become what a communal labor se ye nyina ye ba be ye kwa sapuduma e di aboa cause ye tena ho a Kusi boateng be koso e di enso Say yetnawa Paul Adumo chirebo beko so edi yenso. Omo boy no. The only option we have is to vote them and their political party out of office. As something in theater, no. Don't sit down, say Sami Jemfi Nemkoye Duman family. Say Sami Jemfi ne grass kind of all da. Sami Jemfi ya will be so best as Say Sami Jemfi soon as a Sami ya ubi on suspended or bedo. Yeah. Communal labor, we are rescue the country first. And sana Simbia or why any NDC for the you haven't caught the madman and you are thinking of the haircut you give him. But then in one chain, I would be what but then in a itria will be, you know. But then in we, what but then in we are. It train so what the second be in it you, would your command be in it you. The season and the time will determine what strategies and techniques to use. You do we see how that for a friend is saying no. The sense here, I think say at the time no, as one for the other program also to continue. Yes. Monshare video no. Then family.
Thank you.
Singular pleasure today to declare the Gavi Aquaculture Shrimp Project, a Ghana-Vietnam venture, duly inaugurated.
Thank you.
We count on our Vietnamese counterparts to provide the technical expertise in a mutual cooperation agreement.
President Mahama is an important event, making a new step in cooperation development between our two countries.
We grew over 100,000 of them to marketable size. The hatchery and the prawns we see here are experimental pilot projects, which we are proud to say have proved extremely successful at our dam.
Thank you. This also has the potential of creating over 50,000 jobs along the value chain. In January last year, when I re-established the Ministry of Fisheries with the additional name of Aquaculture Development, my vision was for our country to increase fish production through fish farming. In fact, the quantity of fish that is being caught in the wild or through the usual traditional methods that our parents have used over the years has been declining steadily over the past several years. So aquaculture has become a necessity if we are to increase fish production. As I stated in the State of the Nation address, we need to get self-sufficient and even become net exporters through the local production of rice, sugar, tomato products, frozen fish, poultry, vegetable, cooking oils, etc. When we consume what we produce and produce what we consume, then we benefit in more ways than one, especially as the economy receives a reinvestment of our resources that would have been spent on imported items. Our economy needs to be transformed through the adoption of a number of key policies. Right after the State of the Nation address, we started working with all our ministers to produce the presidential priority deliverables. It is in this context that the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture is leading fresh efforts to increase fish production through the effective development of the aquaculture sector. We need to reduce and eventually eliminate our importation of fish and fish products. We can achieve this by improving the environment for the establishment of fish farming enterprises and also by making fish production to become a truly viable and attractive area for investment and for private capital. In response to my directives, the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development is promoting what is described as the nucleus outgrower fish farming scheme. The goal of this project is to establish